Hello there, folks, and welcome to session 92 of The Forming. I am, of course, your DM of Doom, Son of Asgard, or World Tree Quests here on Twitch and YouTube. And with us today, we have got my lovely and my amazing cast. We have got Khadija Al-Kubra. We have got Patron of Chaos. And we've got just Harry. Look at their lovely faces. Don't you just love them to bits? They're all so pretty. We do not have our lovely Ash Howard music here because they're just feeling a wee bit under the weather. So we're going to give them the day off and we're going to let them rest themselves up. Ash, we hope you feel better soon and we can't wait for you to come back. Where was I going with that? Yes, that's where I was going with that. I do have housekeeping. This is a little bit of personal housekeeping, but do you know what? I'm going to say it anyway because I don't get to humble brag very often. I am going to be playing an artificer for the first time in a Spelljammer campaign in 2 days. It is on an amazing cast of all UK performers called the Owlbear Adventures. And if you guys are free, you should come and check us out this Wednesday. I do believe that it's at 9 PM UK time, but I might be wrong on that. I will post on our socials, so you can come and see it if you want to. But I do believe that it is at 9 PM British Standard Time, which for those of you across the pond, that would be 3 PM CST. So if you're able to come and see that on Wednesday over at twitch.tv/Owlbear Adventures, I would love you dearly because it's my first time playing an artificer and I'm very excited about the character and I'm very excited to be joining this cast. Other than that, I don't have anything else, so I'm just going to pass on over to my wonderful and amazing cast and I'm going to ask the question, guys, what the frickle frack happened last session?
We started out on our journey to spring. We decided that there's a lot of different things we all kind of need to do in certain seasons, particularly in summer, but we decided that like things with the coronation and making sure Khernun became king and got to marry Sílas was probably a little bit more pressing, so at least immediately. So we decided to go there first and then kind of talk shop on like what our next stop would be or like pit stops along the way. Okay. Also found out that a few things about potential things to look into about Sutali thanks to Kessley's. Some interesting stuff going on with him, but we'll figure it out as we go along. There was like a drinking game between Elion and Reverie because she was bored and could only heckle and aggressively play I Spy with the soldiers for so long. But one of the really interesting things that happened was that we assisted in traveling with the envoy of dwarves who were going through the tunnels again, who were going through the mountain. And Ari got to have a little bit of like a cultural musical exchange with them. There were some stories swapped and they gave us gifts. We all got some really interesting, neat stuff. Reverie especially got a really cool thing, mithril fabric. So she's planning on bringing that to the Forge Master to see if he can work some magic, which Arya might tag along with because she's got a commission from the Forge Master for Sheila that she wants to check up on the progress of, or just cast Ascending, see if it'd be ready for the coronation, who knows. But, and then Reverie was able to give them a gift as well, and because of that, they thought that it was a great show of character from us, and now the dwarves are willing to like you know, look more deeply into the possibility of like creating alliances and building bonds. And, you know, like Arya made the suggestion that like, oh, you guys seem like you would really get along well with the Automaladgen in particular in like the capital, who like also live in the mountains and like are very deeply rooted to the earth. And like you guys seem to have like a similar stalwart nature. So we got potential allies. But also from a cutscene, we saw that one of them, the deep dwarves, are also building alliances, possibly with the Yuan-Ti. And then we all died laughing about like snake STDs. That was funny.
Yuan-Ti STDs.
Yuan-Ti STDs, yep. Let's see. And then to get to spring, we had to travel through a bunch of like border patrols from summer to spring, which we managed to like mostly pass through. One of them we got kind of stopped at, but luckily Elion was able to work his smooth talk soldier magic. Then we had a little chat about some stuff for Arya, like, you know, kind of reclaiming her summer heritage despite never really feeling part of summer. And then we got to, you know, return to spring again, which is awesome. And it has become like this really cool, like thriving capital city with these gorgeous tree houses and these cobblestone roads and like homes built into the forest, and just like really, really cool. I'm excited to explore this. Yeah, I love spring.
I'm very excited about this as well. I told my players, and I'll say it to yourselves, when I created this world, when I created this homebrew world, the first place I created was what this place becomes in the future. And so this is kind of like bringing 5 years of creation and writing full circle for me. So this is a wee bit of an emotional one for me. But yeah, that was a very, very, very good roundup for us. Thank you very much, Khadija. Is there anything that our other 2 party members would like to add to it? Anything that might have been missed?
Don't know.
Awesome. Then in that case, we will go right into where we left off. Now, where we left off last time. Everybody remembers?
Thorin Oakenshield spoke to
Thorin Oakenshield.
Thorin Oakenshield!
Not Thorin Oakenshield.
Have you seen Azog?
For copyright purposes, his name is not Thorin Oakenshield.
Sorry, I know it's Oak something, and I was rewatching the Lord of the Rings movies with Sylvester last
Orin
weekend.
So. Get it right.
God's sake, Arya. His name's not Thorin Oakenshield.
Well,
now, as you were trying to say, Thorgrim Oakenfoot.
Oak something.
I mean, you almost got the first name right, okay? It does sound a little bit like Thorin. Dale. Dale Oakenfoot.
Like Chip and Dale.
Oh my god, that was fucking fantastic.
The Yuan-Ti STDs again to everyone, bro.
That's them Yuan-Ti STDs, man. They're getting everybody. Oh god.
I had a Lord of the Rings marathon this weekend with my boyfriend. I had him in the brain.
Yeah, okay, fine. Blame it on Lord of the Rings.
Fresh off the back of your Hobbit fan fiction.
You joke, but I actually have written the Hobbit fanfic.
Oh god, there.
Thorin grasped hold of Bilbo and said, "I'll show you another ring."
Not like that. Not that kind. I haven't dabbled into that kind of fanfiction yet.
Anyway, Dale Oakenhand, who is Khernun's courtly advisor within the realm of the Springlands, met you guys at the front entrance to the brand new palace of this new kingdom. Now, as you guys get out, as you guys are, like, you know, dismount and your mounts are taken away to stables and such, Dale is going to approach you guys and just say, I hope that you're not going to mind this, but I need to have a quick meeting with our future king and his future bride. There are some situations they should be made aware of. So I'll have to ask you to entertain yourselves. You're all known within these lands. Your names are known at least. So nowhere is off limits to you. You are trusted allies of Spring here. So please feel free to explore, and anything that you need within. And he's going to eyeball all of you with that kind of look of like, how to describe it? It's like a don't take the piss kind of look. Like, within reason, we will handle your necessities.
Reveries head turns to Elian.
Well, I have no intention of taking anything.
Arya turns to Elion. Just try not to shove your foot in the mouth.
Why am I
this time.
being jumped?
You have a track record of shoving your foot in the mouth like it's
Yeah, but I don't
venison.
steal much.
At which point he is going to take Khernun and Sílas and lead them into the palace as they begin conversing briefly in hushed voices. So you guys have all of this new kingdom to explore. What would you like? What would you do? You guys want to look for things for yourselves? Do you want to go as a group? What do you want to see first? This is completely freeform for you guys now.
I do think first off, at least for Arya, making sure that we find someone who can take care of Nazir is important. I know that Reverie had recommended Barry. Do you still think Barry's a good idea to look after him?
I think Barry would probably get him gently acclimated. Yes.
In that case, Arya's gonna go up on her boots a little bit and get a deep breath and call out, "Bye!"
Considering Barry is about 3 hours away from here, and
Oh,
that
I thought this was I forgot this was the same total. Never mind. Oh right, I forgot he's in a different part of Spring. My bad.
You just really
She'll
want
put
breakfast.
down. She'll put that down. Well, we can always pass ascending to him. Or maybe we ask around.
Yeah. Yeah, I can cast ascending to him. I'm gonna cast ascending to Barry.
you cast ascending to Barry. What do you say?
Hey Barry, it's Reverie. Hope you're well. If you could come to the Spring City, is it safe?
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Barry will answer saying, perfectly safe. I'll be there in 4 hours.
Okay.
He will... that's all he says.
Barry's gonna be here in 4 hours.
Alright then. Do we want to explore the new capital together or divide and conquer?
I feel like a little divide and conquer.
Right. We can meet up again in like 4 hours or so.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just a
I'm
lot of
sure
time.
there's like a food and beer place we can go to.
Knowing Spring? Most likely.
Food
Yeah,
and
well-
beer place.
Like a pub.
Yeah, tavern.
Something like that. Yeah.
Are you questioning me, Alien?
I just didn't. I thought the priority would be finding a bed and cover sleep place first.
Well, we could always crash in the trees. I've done that before.
Sure. You can.
We
I
also
literally have a
tour
tree
bus.
house. That's true. Well, I don't really like being cooped up there. I would not have to. I mean, I sleep on
I
the floor
can-
in the tour bus.
I personally can make anywhere a bed and sleep place.
I think I'll stick with sleeping in the tree. I don't like the little cubbyhole beds in the tour bus. It makes me very claustrophobic.
Excuse me just a wee moment, guys. I need to nip away for just a wee 5 minutes.
Mhm.
Okay?
Mhm.
Please continue discussing where you're going to go first, and I'll hear when I come back. I just have to jump away for 5 minutes. I do apologise.
Well, personally, I'd love to be able to explore more, see everything. Maybe I'll run into some of my old friends that I met. Spring. I don't know if they've moved from where this old settlement that Barry is in to the capital, but maybe see what the music is. I could show Zatali and Nazir around.
This is true.
That sounds like a good idea. Nazir, needs I think a bit of gentle exploration, and I feel like he'd be good at that.
I won't let him be alone. I'll make sure he has some fun.
I, by order of Polaris, need to get him pampered before he loses his mind.
Given how much they care about nature and animals here, I'm sure he will be well taken care of.
Yeah.
Well, hang on. He doesn't like being dirty, so that's going to be a little tricky.
I'm sure. I have look, and
I've
she
literally
reaches into her bag
seen
and
him,
she pulls out.
his snout at dirt once.
She pulls out like a list. It's a rather long list.
You have a very finicky horse.
The humans brushed him with a horsehair brush, and it left a calic, and he's very upset.
Understandably.
I don't get it, but I mean, I can understand personal sensory discomforts.
Well, no, it's more of
it's-
some of us take pride in our appearance, and some
Yeah,
of us don't.
Hey, to be,
It's
hey, to
more
be fair, I've been better about that. I've actually started combing my hair again.
it's more of his appearance.
Hmm.
Also, I think
See, I just feed Serenity apples and she's happy and give us scritches.
I think, I mean, look at him. I gesture at him. He's very magnificent looking, and also he came from Queen Titania's
He is magnificent.
menagerie. So
Well, I'd understand why you'd want to make sure he's taken care of then, but I'll look at my sweet bird getting caught up in the reins again, but just does that little Bambi thing where a little butterfly lands on her snoot and she just tries to chase it. I'm happy with my dopey low maintenance sweet bed. But that probably is a good idea. Oh, and if you happen to see any elephants, I don't know if they'd be in this part of spring, but Barry did mention them. They sort of look like the mammoths we saw. I'd love to see them. They sounded so cool.
I don't know if they're here or if they're over in that border area that Barry's been at, the border between autumn and spring. But I guess
who
we'll
knows?
find out.
Yeah, I mean, so far I've only been there and been here as far as being in Springlands go. When I was traveling by myself, I mostly kind of kept to around the borders and side the little tiny villages and stuff because it's still kind of hiding. So, but I think it's a good idea.
Wasn't the last time weren't we fighting a giant nature elephant?
No, we were
That was-
fighting a giant nature person beast.
It was a hodgepodge of summer, like I think it was like an avatar or something. I think Cassidy described it as.
Yeah, it was like an avatar of nature. It was like made from trees.
It was like god animal for anyone that wasn't like springborn. It's like, shoot,
Yeah.
go away.
Yeah. So that's
Alright.
that's how.
Does that mean like
But-
Khernun's going to get like a giant nature beast?
Could be. Already got like a new
he's gonna get a second form.
No, as in like
Like a pet.
I will answer the king of the nature's call.
Oh, you know what? It would be kind of really cool if like Khernun gets like crowned, right? We the official coronation. Obviously, he's already got the crown.
Mhm.
He's already the.
Oh,
king.
are we gonna have to get outfits for that?
But
didn't
he's,
really
get
he's
to
go
not he's
shopping.
not the king until the ceremony is complete.
But still,
Yes.
we didn't really get to go shopping in the human city together for coronation outfits.
It would be really cool though if he did like after the coronation, like all these spring animals came forward like behind him.
What, some kind of lion king?
Kind of, like, you know, spring has an immense connection with nature, and I feel like nature
Mhm.
would be answering.
Yeah,
to
imagine if, like-
the king in not like answering to them, but like maybe
Respect
showing a show of force.
Yeah, or like maybe like the boughs of the trees will like sort of like blow in the wind and bend towards him. Like we recognize you, we accept you. Because I was actually telling Kieran when he was saying how nervous he was about being crowned that like if he was really uncertain, why not just ask the trees and ask the forest? I mean, the springlands
Yeah,
are
I mean-
alive.
I mean, they are living. They are like people.
Yeah, and if
So like that would be cool too. Maybe
Yeah, I
both.
mean-
Maybe like a tree like dog beast thing comes and like stands like one stands beside him and the other one stands beside Sheila, and then like the trees kind of bow. That'd be sick.
yeah, because like the way I see it is if a matter of hand is like who's best fit to rule a land and its people, like the land deserves to get a say in the matter too, especially if the Springfolk can actually talk to the trees and talk to the land itself. Why not give their say in the matter? It's only
And
fair.
it would be like the land itself saying that they have chosen Kiernan as their leader. And
Exactly.
therefore, you know, it would kind of eliminate any more questions on whether he should or shouldn't be king.
And make him feel more reassured. It's like I made the comparisons, like instead of thinking of it as like being a king of a kingdom, think of it as like being the patriarch of a big giant family. That's what spring
That sounds
feels
worse.
like. Well, just because we had not the best family situations growing up doesn't mean that like I mean that's one of the things I think is best about spring. They all
I mean, Autumn is kind of like a big giant family.
yeah, it is.
You remember when we went to like the Autumn Lord's place and like he had like a whole dinner table set out for everyone?
Yeah. He was so
That's kind of-
welcoming.
It's kind of par for the course for
Yeah, and you guys
Yeah,
all
so-
sang together.
to my limited memory of what like Autumn in the
Yeah.
Fey Wild is like as opposed to Autumn here. Autumn here
I-
is still
I
very
really-
familiar.
I really liked that. Yeah, but I really liked going to Autumn Court. It felt very welcoming. The Autumn Lord was very welcoming and warm. I really do hope to visit him again sometime. Maybe play some music for one of his dinners. He was very
Mhm.
kind.
Mhm. That would be cool.
Hi there,
But
guys.
that Autumn,
Hello.
hello.
Thanks
Autumn's
for your
not the
patience.
point. I'm just saying it would be a great show. Like nobody could question if Kiernan was king, if the land itself showed it by having like that giant wood, like a dog, right? Made out of
Exactly.
wood, walk up, and like animals and the trees bow. I'm sure we can talk to the trees.
Yeah. This
Well,
is what you
we
come back
can't. We can't, but some Springfolk can.
I
got-
can maybe go back to the old tree and ask, and maybe he can
True.
talk. Like
Yes, you
hands down the
understand,
lane.
Brad. We've made it for you that when Khernun gets the crown on his head, all of the trees are going to bow, and there's going to be 2 giant bark dogs.
Well, it's like because we saw the avatar of spring last time, and like Ari was saying, like if like the land itself should get a say in the matter of who
You're
gets
welcome.
to rule it.
I was expecting Khernun's crowning to be something out of Lord of the Rings. Instead, what I've come back to is Matsinya Babawiti.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said it'd be some kind of lion king.
Well, originally I said all the woodland creatures, and now I've changed it to 2 ginormous bark dogs, like one on Kieran's side and one on
Someone
Sheila's
gonna
side.
have to lift him.
Is Reverie going to lift Khernun up?
I was gonna say,
Yes.
Reverie.
Right, so
I put the
What
crown on
did
him,
I-
I lift him
what
above
did
my
I-
head.
what did I miss while I was away? I do apologise.
That was it.
That?
It was entirely
Just
that.
that.
And also talking about how persnickety Polaris is.
Yeah, we're...
And you know
So-
how like a big family spring can be like.
Spring is just a big family.
Yeah,
So-
that's one of the reasons Arya loves it so much.
So, in that sense, what do you guys want to go see first?
I would like to take Nazir and Zotali with me and kind of just like, for Nazir especially, like kind of like make him feel a little more like comfortable here and like welcome, maybe talk to some people, tag along. Like if I end up running into some friends that I made last time I was in spring 600 years ago, or like see what the music scene is like, just general exploring and, you know, just wandering around, showing them a little bit of like why the nice things of spring.
Okay. So, you want to go and see the people?
Yes. And if maybe there's like a bandstand like going on like because music is a big part of like their history and their culture, and Arya really appreciated and learned a lot from that. Like it'd be nice to share that with my friends, with my new friends, and with Nazir as well.
Okay. Elion, Reverie?
If I can catch wind of any notable skill, I will try and find a smith.
Okay, a smith. Alrighty, and Reverie?
I'm going to take Polaris to go get taken care of, but first, I have one of my weird questions for you, Brent.
One of your weird questions, I love it. What is it?
So, the spell Forbiddance.
Forbiddance. Is that a new spell?
Yeah. I can ward against magical travel that protects up to 40,000 square feet of floor space to a height of 30 feet above the floor. For the duration, creatures can't teleport into the area or use portals, such as those created by the gate spell, to enter the area. The spell proofs the area against planar travel and therefore prevents creatures from accessing the area by the way of the astral plane, the ethereal plane, and the Feywild, the Shadowfell, or the plane shift spell. Anyway, I was wondering if I could use that to because I can use it to forbid specific things. Can I use it to forbid specific people if I have specific?
No, so it says creatures, so it would have to be a creature type. So for talking sake, if you were to go cast Forbiddance and I want to forbid Yuan-Ti, you can't do that. You would have to say humanoids.
Okay. Yes, then I am just going to take Polaris to go get a spot tree.
Okay. Alrighty then. So, that actually makes it quite easy, because you're all going to make your way to the same place to begin with, which is going to be the market. Now, as you arrive here, it is hectic. The city's alive here. The sound of flutes can be constantly heard, as well as drums, and it does come from a particular location. It comes from the centre of this marketplace, which is an oak tree, similar to the one that has been grown into the palace, but not quite the same size. And it's like it comes, and instead of the roots going into the ground, the roots start spanning out much sooner, creating almost like a bulb effect at the bottom, and that bulb has been carved into to create a kind of almost like a bandstand without a raised stage effect. And in the heart of this little created space, there was just a group of musicians. But the market is well and truly alive. You can hear the sound of spring Eladrin craftsmen and women sharing and peddling their wares, as well as you can hear species of all other kind of wild and fantastic spring nations. For instance, you've got some furbolgs here. You also have what appear to be some genasi, who you would recognise as the people who have come from the planes of the elements. And there's also a weird-looking, slightly elfin person standing at a market stall with someone. But their skin looks quite shiny, like as if it's slick, like as if it's wet. But everything that you would want to look for is here. Reverie, you can see husbandry stalls where you could go and you could bring Polaris to get some real top-notch treatment. And as it's spring, most of the stuff you're going to get used here is going to be stuff that is in the Feywilds. Elion, you can hear the sound of hammers ringing and very strange song coming from the root of a very, very hardy looking yew tree nearby. And Arya, I've already told you where you can see music and where you can see food and the culture of the Springlands being taken into effect. So on that, I want to go to Elion first. The marketplace is in front of you. Everything that you would need is here. But you said you were looking for a smith.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can hear one straight away.
I will head that way.
Okay. So you make your way over to the smith, a fairly well-kept looking spring Eladrin.
Mm-hmm.
And he's striking away on an anvil, hammering away at it. And as you approach, he will look up to see you, give you a smile and a polite bow of the head, and he says, "Welcome to the Iron Vine Armory. What can I do for you?"
Well, first I would like to inquire about your, and I say this respectfully, level of competence. I've been looking for the most skilled hand.
The most skilled hand is, I would like to say it's mine, but it's truly not. The most skilled hand that you would find in all of our fair city would be that of my father.
But
He has, sadly stepped over into the next walk of life.
I apologise.
So, I do not feel that it's mine to claim. I can tell you right now, the Iron Vine family are very, very good at what we do.
Mm-hmm.
However, and he's going to gesture to your very well-kept armour and weapons and such and say, you seem like the kind who would shop where, or who would purchase from where our nobility would purchase from.
Mm-hmm.
So I could point you towards their smiths if you'd prefer that.
Well, I didn't ask for where the nobles shopped. I asked for the best smith. If that's you, I'll stay here.
Well, personally, I believe that where them nobles shop, they overhandle their metal.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't pick their wood correctly. I would say that, well, with us, we certainly don't have the bells and whistles. And we're not as shiny and well polished. But if we make you something, it'll do what you need it to do.
Okay. Then I have 2 lines of inquiry. First of all, I will pull out the giant rock that the dwarves gave me like 3 days ago. Mm-hmm. Any idea what this is? I assume it's ore, but I'm not sure what. They said something about something being inside, but...
I don't know what it is.
Okay.
I can tell you it's not ore. You would be able to see veins of it poking through. But I can give you the name of a very good friend of mine who'd be able to tell you exactly what it is.
Perfect.
Do you travel around very often?
I take steps.
Okay. If you ever find yourself in the Autumn Lands, in the capital, Russet Falls,
Right.
there's a friend of mine there. I call him Grim, but I would recommend you don't call him that.
Okay.
His name is fairly hard to pronounce, though. Grim.
Right.
He's a Goliath. You ever met a Goliath before?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Well, Grim, he's the best at rocks I've ever met in my life. And I say that knowing exactly what Autumn Eladrin are famous for. This guy knows rocks better than any of them mountain chuckers I've ever met in my life.
Okay.
If you take that to him, he'll be able to tell you exactly what that is there. Me, I could give you a guess, but I would not be able to stake my life on it whatsoever.
Okay. Second inquiry.
Mm-hmm.
I would like a shield.
Shield.
A shield.
Okay.
Something preferably with magical enhancement,
Okay.
as I get into a lot of scraps. I kind of have an aesthetic, but I'm very well aware that you might not fall into that category. So, appearance is optional. Function is mandatory. I recently came into possession of something that might change my outlook on combat. And a shield is now an option.
So you're looking for a shield to be partnered with some other item very specifically.
Yes.
Do you have this other item?
Yes.
Would you mind showing me it?
No.
No, you wouldn't mind, or no, you won't show it to
I
me?
cannot show you. It's rather personal.
Okay. You understand that I can't give you something that will work perfectly in tandem unless I know exactly what it is it's going to do.
It doesn't need to be specifically in tandem. I just need something that doesn't need to be complementary.
Okay.
Just something that, while I'm wielding said weapon, I
So
can
it
use and
is
helpful.
it is a weapon.
Yes.
Okay. So this weapon, does it have a blunt or a sharp edge?
Neither.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. So I am going to assume it is something of a magical origin.
Yes.
Okay? And you see he takes out it's like a metal point. It almost looks like a piton, like a metal. It almost looks like one of them, and he starts to just mark on just a bit of wood in front of him. And he goes, right, this shield, are you looking for buckler, tarred shield, or are you looking for like a wall shield? What are you looking for here?
I'm not strong enough for a tower, I don't think. Just something that can cover the vitals. But
Standard shield.
I am more of a dexterous man. So
Okay.
nothing too heavy, preferably.
You say you're a dexterous fighter. Would you like the shield to be something you could incorporate into your combat, or a shield that is just a shield?
Smith's choice?
Judging
Go
by
where
your
the
voice,
inspiration takes you, I guess.
judging by your voice, you're one of them summer fellas, yeah? So, I know you don't have the kind of materials we have, and I know that in summer you're going to choose metal over anything else 90% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But we have something here in spring, something you don't have in summer.
Right.
We have ironbark.
Right.
My brother, while not being as good of a smith as me, is one of the best tree singers you'll ever meet.
Mm.
And he's recently found a way, or found a grove of trees growing right on top of an iron vein. If he sings to them just right, then we get wood that is as light as you, but as hard as solid steel.
Right.
If I give you that, I could give you a shield that you could utilize in close quarters and from afar, and ensure it always returns to your hand.
Okay. Interesting. I am intrigued. I mean, wood sounds, no offense, it sets off alarms, but I trust.
I'd be happy to offer you a demonstration if you'd like.
Yeah.
And you'll reach under the kind of anvil that he's got in front of him, and he pulls out a gauntlet. Now this gauntlet looks like, it has like a chainmail glove, which he'll, as he puts it on, he kind of waves his fingers so you can hear the chain jingling together.
Yeah.
And then it has almost like slated scales on top, like scale armor.
Mm-hmm.
But as he turns it around, you see the scales are made of unvarnished wood.
Mm-hmm.
But through the wood, there is these, like you see in wood, you see the grains, and it's almost like veins of a darker brown.
Yeah.
Like that, but it is a polished, silvery colour.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, this is untreated iron bark. And he puts his hand on the anvil, and then he takes out a hammer and hands you the hammer. And he goes,
You're much better with it than I, please.
no, he's going to say, strike my hand.
I am not good with these, but bang.
You swing down, he doesn't blink, doesn't flinch. The hammer strikes on the wood, but as it strikes on the wood, it's the ringing of metal on metal. And it's almost musical, like a resonates out from it. And he lifts it up and shows you there's not a dent on the wood. And he goes, and he takes it off, and then he hands it to you as if to, feel the weight of it.
Yeah.
And when you take it, this feels like, this is very obviously very sturdy armor. I believe scale armor is medium armor.
Mm-hmm.
feels like light armor. You feel like you're wearing barely you feel like holding this. You're holding barely anything.
Mm.
And he's going to say, we haven't quite perfected how to make an edge, so we don't know about making weapons from this yet. But a shield from this, I believe, can be done.
How much do you require from me?
The price would not come from... The price would depend on what enchantments you want on this.
Mm-hmm.
So as I said, what I can work on it myself, from my length of knowledge, is I can make sure this thing can be thrown, and it will always return to your hand.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're wanting it to do something different, I would either have to contact a enchanter or learn how to do the enchantment myself. So again, like I'm saying, I can tell you how much I will cost for what I can make you, but if you want a better enchantment, the price could go up.
Well, I like your take, but say I wanted to add something later, would that be possible?
Can definitely give you the name of the people I would use for my enchanting.
Perfect. So just your concept is perfect for now.
Then I would give you a fair price, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you right now, I don't do negotiating, I don't do haggling. The price I give you is the price it'll be.
Okay.
1,500.
That seems remarkably fair. I will put 1,500 gold and the half-drunk keg of moonshine down for him to take.
He's going to look at the moonshine, then look at you and be like, what is that?
That is the most potent shit you will ever put in your mouth.
He'll take it, goes into the bag, counts through the coins, takes out 10 stacks of 10 gold coins and pushes them back to you, and takes the moonshine.
They will stay on the table.
Okay. He will say to you, I dedicate my time to this, which is what you're paying me for. I can have this finished for you in 3 days.
Perfect.
Alright. Thank you very much for trusting us here at the Iron Vine Armory. And I'm not going to say I hope it does you well, because I know it's going to.
I hope it does me well.
And then he turns back, grabs on 2 very, very big, large, heavy hide gloves, and starts to fish out like ingots of metal in preparation for beginning to make the frame of the shield.
Perfect.
Alrighty. With that, I'd like to move to Reverie. Reverie and her so needy horse.
Mm-hmm.
You take Polaris over to this large stable area where you can see multiple different types of horses around. Not to mention other animals like elk, and you can see a couple of more like foresty creatures who have been like, they have like, you know, different parts of them bandaged and such. And fairly young. Sorry, somebody outside just taking the bin out. You can hear the wheels clattering against the stone slats. A fairly young Springaladrin, looks to be about the same age as Kesselis. Pops their head up. They have like big old wooden glasses like real big round frames with like tempered glass inside them to help them see better, but their eyes look like really big and out of place with it. And they're like, "Oh, hello there. What can I do for you?"
Hi. I would like to put my steed here. I just need to make sure that they're going to be well taken care of. The last place he was staying at brushed a cowlick into his fur, and he is very upset.
They immediately hop over, and they have like a like leather apron on that's got multiple brushes and combs, and even something that looks a little bit like a tongue scraper but really big with like little almost like teeth on it. Hops over and he starts like coming over, and he comes right up to Polaris, doesn't even blink at what this is, and just starts putting his hands on Polaris and running his hand along his hair, and then muttering to himself, "Oh no, this is not. I can't believe that they missed it. Oh dear. Oh, this is not good. This is not good at all." And he's going to poke his head around Polaris and look at you and go, "They have treated him abhorrently."
Yes. From what he tells me, it was pretty bad. He actually made a list of demands, which I have.
Puts his hand out for the list of demands.
I will hand it over. It's a long list.
Looks over everything on this list. Looks up at Polaris. Touches an amulet he's got around his neck. There's a brief little flash of green magic. And then looks at Polaris and goes, "You didn't mention anything about your teeth. Do you have a preference on how you like your teeth being cleaned?" At which point Polaris is like really taken aback and looks at you, Reverie, and is like, "I don't know if I'm supposed to be scared or impressed."
I think the latter.
Whatever way you find would be best. This little kid just like nods, then looks at you and is like, "We will take very good care of him."
Okay, just to let you know, for the teeth cleaning, he does have a sugar habit.
Looks at Polaris and is like, "How many sugar cubes does he eat?"
Yes.
"We will take very good care of your companion."
Thank you so much.
"You are welcome."
How much?
That will come to, looks over the entire list. It's like, for everything he's asking for, it is not going to be cheap.
That's okay.
You're looking in the region of about 1,800 gold pieces.
Yep. I can afford that.
Your horse's spa session costs more than my magical Captain America shield.
Somehow I'm not surprised since it's Polaris involved.
Yep.
And they take a hold of the reins and they will lead Polaris out.
Okay,
Into
so I'm
this
gonna
paddock.
remove 1,800 gold from my inventory now.
You got scammed, bro.
Or is it that you get scammed, or is it that you just created a monster?
Yeah, for real. This is self-wrought.
I mean, I'm going to say right now, Polaris is going to get the works.
Good. Yeah, now that he's taken care of, I'm going to... I have a date tonight.
You have
So,
a date tonight.
yeah.
Oh, are you contacting Asmodeus?
As my daddy.
No, but you know, we've established that the date was today. So, I have to go get that taken, like go do stuff for that. So, I guess I'm going to go do stuff for that.
Give me a thrust. Da, 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 da. Show
See if I can
some
find
dust.
something nice to wear.
And what about the dress that he gave you? You're not going to wear that?
You do have the
He's already
white dress
seen me in
too.
it, so no.
You have the white dress from the Autumn Eladrin.
I don't think you want to
Quintilius.
show up to Asmodeus's table wearing a white dress.
No.
Or does she?
Or does she?
Not unless I'm getting a ring on that finger tonight.
I love how you're saying that as if he turned up with a ring, you'd be like, okay.
Yeah. I feel like there'd be some questions.
And that's how Reverie became a god.
The short circuit. I did the short gauntlet to godhood.
Is the short gauntlet to godhood just like a dating sim then?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Somehow that doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me
100%.
one bit.
Yeah. Gotta go look for something nice to wear.
Okay, so there are a great many shops around here that seem to have clothes and such inside their windows. So, what kind of thing are you looking for?
I'm looking for nice, not too formal, probably in black. Like a dress.
Okay. Let's see what we've got. I just dropped my dice that I need. Give me a moment. Because it's went right under my table, and if I don't get it back, I'll panic. I got it. Roll dice. Okay. So, there is a very, very pristine looking storefront, grown into what appears to be a cherry blossom tree. The pink petals of these cherry blossoms stream down and create like a very, very stand out appearance for this storefront. On the front of it there is a symbol of a rosebud surrounded by the stem of the rose with the thorns and a single drop of blood coming off of the bottom of it.
Oh, this is dramatic. I like this story.
And the name of the store on the front, Bloodthorn's Finery.
Oh.
Well, now. Now I like it less. But I'm going in.
Okay. You step inside, and inside here, the woman standing there is a standout. Much like everything in this shop, she stands out. Especially for the fact of, aside from what most Spring Eladrin are wearing, greens and pale yellows and deep browns and chestnuts and those kind of range of colours, she is wearing deep crimson. She still has very much the aesthetic of Spring Eladrin, still very much that Celtic design, lots of like knotwork lace.
Mm-hmm.
So rather than like the cuffs of her garments being cuffs that are embroidered with like Celtic knotwork and such, the lace on the edge of her dress is actually laced and woven like Celtic knotwork.
Mm-hmm.
even to the point of like the high collar dress, which has a lace collar as well as like a lace upper part of the dress, completely worked as if like it was Celtic knotwork. All of her copper jewellery, or I say copper, copper. Yeah, copper. All of her like highly polished copper jewellery is inlaid with like red or black stones. And as you walk in, she gives you a very genuine, polite smile and says, "Welcome to Bloodthorn's Finery. What is it that I can help you with here?"
I'm looking for something formal, but not too formal. I have a date this evening with someone of fairly high standing.
So you'd be looking for a formal garment, or is it more of a moving date?
I think we discussed where the date would be, or what the date would be. So
I don't think that's what she's asking. She's asking if you're looking for something that would be worn to like a very high formal event, or if it's something that would be quite, run of the mill, like.
Let's say a subdued height.
I see. And do you have a preference for materials being used?
I don't have a particular preference. I do have a preference for colors, if you don't.
What colours would you be looking for?
Black, silver, or blue.
She will gesture towards a wall of like spools of fabric that she has. Lots of it in deep dark colours like blacks, reds, purples, blues, greens, but like very, very dark tones. And she will say, "We can absolutely have you covered with black. Now, is there any jewellery that you are going to be partnering it with, or would you be looking to gather jewellery as well?"
No. I have this, which I don't take off, and she'll kind of hold out her amulet, and this,
Okay.
which I don't take off. So.
Very well, so we are working with the colour scheme of black and silver.
Yes.
She will look at your armour, and then she just kind of like, she has, like, it almost looks like a conductor's baton. And as she gives you like a once over, and she kind of waves it at the armour, and it's like, "Can this come off?"
Yes, if you give me a couple of minutes.
Very, very easily done. She will gesture towards a dressing area and be like, "It's just so I can take your measurements."
Absolutely. Yeah, Reverie will step in, and it takes, 10 minutes to take off armor?
Think so, yeah.
Or, yeah. So, I'll undo my armor, step back out. Lady, she's getting, my sleeves are rolled up, she's getting a full tattoo view from, like, ear down. So, not actually full, but,
With that, she goes over, closes the door, and sings like a quick little like 3-note arpeggio, and the cherry blossoms swoop down in front of the shop, creating like a nobody can see in the windows kind of thing. This is like she's now fitting, which means that obviously people can't be peeking in at you while you butt naked.
Mm-hmm.
And then she takes out this long spool of this really, really fine silk, almost like a ribbon, but you see it has little notches along it. And she says, "If I could just ask you to stand and stretch out one of your arms, full wingspan."
Yep, Reverie will do that.
And she's going to go through the motions of measuring you, and every now and again, she just takes like I'm assuming you're wearing like, not like underwear, but like your under armour garments.
Yeah.
Okay, so she takes out like, like pins from her hair, and every time she's got a number measured, she'll just pin it to your clothing very briefly so she can go to the other side of it. Without your armor on, does a 19 hit?
Without my armor, yeah.
Okay, cool. So she's measuring away, and she goes to, I'm just going to take your neck size for the collar, okay? And she puts it around. There's a wee, as she jabs you with one of the pins. And she like pulls it away. She's like, I am so sorry. She goes immediately over to the desk where she takes out a tub of like an ointment almost, but it has the texture of like Vaseline.
Mm-hmm.
Like a petroleum jelly style texture, but it has a very, very pungent minty scent and a white napkin. And she just goes over and she's like very apologetic. She's like, I am so sorry about that, my clumsy hands. And she just wipes the blood away, and then as she wipes, follows up with the hand with this ointment. There's a mild sting from the mint in the ointment, but it goes over the wound. It's like one of those, I don't know if Harry have ever had it, like, you know that you get them in barbers usually, it's like a white stick, and if you accidentally get nicked when you're shaving, they just rub that on it and it kind of closes up the wound, creates like a barrier. It's like that.
That's fine. With my perception being ridiculous, did I see where she put that pin she stuck me with?
The pin that she stuck you with is, she has it in the wee pin cushion in her hand.
Okay. I'm gonna keep my eye on that pin.
Okay. She goes right back to finalising the measuring. After maybe 15-20 minutes, she takes all the pins out, puts them all back in the pin cushion, takes the swing and is like, I now have all your measurements. Now, on to design. Do you have a particular idea for style that you would like?
I'm thinking pants, but like maybe like a waistcoat kind of moment that goes to the ankle.
Okay. So
Gives the illusion of a skirt.
Like a business combined look.
Yes. Because I'm not sure where we're going or what exactly we're doing.
Oh, I absolutely understand. I can make you something that will function as both, so that if you do turn up and you realise you're underdressed, there's a way you can look at a tad more formal.
That would be perfect.
So again, back and forward with more design ideas. If you have any images for what you want this to look like, please by all means send it to me. I don't know dress terms. I know how to describe what dress look like. But if you have an idea what you want it to look like, send me a picture and I'll be able to create a description of that for whenever you come to get it.
Okay. And how long would this take?
I can have it done for you at a regular pace, which would be 3 days. Or I can rush this, spend all day on it today, and I would have it ready for you by sundown tonight.
That would a rush order would be perfect.
Okay. A rush order will be quite a rushed job, but I can tell you one thing. There is an enchantment we weave into all our dresses where whoever is near you, there will always be a pleasant aroma following you around. So there is a magical incentive into this. When you pay for Bloodthorn, you get the best.
I appreciate that. That would be lovely.
Okay. So she writes all this up, looks over everything you've asked for, and says, for the rush order, we will add 50% of the price on. That's the rush order price on that. So in total, if you want that for tonight, the rush order would be 3,250 gold.
Yep. I can pay that.
Okay.
3,250 gold, right?
3,250. That's what you get when you mess with the bloodthorns.
Damn.
That's fine. While I'm distracting her with payment, I would like to use my ghost lantern to have it mage hand that pin that she stuck me with out of the pincushion.
To mage hand the pin? Okay. Yep, that seems fine to me. Make me a sleight of hand with advantage, because it's not coming from you, and you're who she's looking at.
With my sleight of hand. That is a 17.
17.
Yeah.
Easy done. Takes the pin, whistles it away back into the lantern. She doesn't notice.
Perfect.
Anything else?
No. Maybe find a day job.
Maybe. Sorry, what?
I said maybe find a day job.
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Oh no, that was me saying like Reverie is gonna go find a day job.
Oh, okay. You can't be that short on cash, surely. You guys raided like a king's ransom.
And then I paid 4,000 gold.
Hey,
one
you could have
thing.
said no.
I feel like this wasn't the type of business lady you could haggle with.
I think what it actually is
I agree.
I think it's the ADHD thing of I want this thing. I think it's this price. Get to the checkout register and they tell you it's triple the price. But you don't want to say no. So you just okay.
Yeah,
And
well
that's why I
also
look at the price tag first.
also I think we have beef with the Bloodthorns, so
Yeah, because I recognize that name. Also, that prick felt very intentional, so I was like, I'm sorry, that was sus.
ain't nobody having Reverie's blood. I'll tell you that.
Listen, if there's one thing I learned from my coven friends,
That ain't
is
free.
that you don't let someone take your blood. You
That
don't
ain't
leave
coming
your blood
for
lying
free.
around.
But you left your blood there. The napkin?
Yeah, you took the pin, but she wiped it.
Oh,
Right. Well, I haven't left the shop yet
You haven't.
because I need shoes to go with his outfit.
I love how
Shoes are always.
I
always
haven't
important.
left yet. I think you'll find I also require shoes.
Incorrect.
Sheila would be proud.
Okay, so you want to speak to her about shoes as well.
Yes.
Okay. Fantastic. She will say to you that while she herself is not someone who crafts shoes, she's not a cobbler, but her family does know some people who make very, very fine boots and shoes for these kind of events as well. So she can certainly recommend someone.
I would love any of your recommendations.
Okay.
Particularly someone, obviously, with your same eloquent sense of style.
Well, in that case, I can recommend to you two families who will certainly pay attention to your every need. She will say to you now, when it comes to shoes, and any form of shoe wear you're looking at, if you are wanting quality, and as I can see from what you have paid for today, quality is something that you have a keen eye for, then you're going to be looking for the Brightleaf family. Brightleaf Cobblers is, and she'll give you the kind of location of where to find them. And right next door to them, you will find the family of my maiden family's name. That would be the Lilyguild family. And we are expert jewel workers, should you ever require any jewel crafting.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of your assistance today. While she was talking, could I mage hand my napkin?
Unfortunately, you can't. It's her personal napkin. This wasn't meant to be a thing. Now that you've mentioned it, I'm like, I'm gonna play the length on this one. How I had it
Sorry,
in my mind.
Liz.
How I had it in my mind was like, as soon as it happened, it was like, oh, okay, I'm so pull the handkerchief out, wipe it away. Handkerchief goes back in. So I don't think you'd be able to mage hand it out.
No,
Mage hand might be getting a little bit close and personal with her, in that particular instance.
Yeah, I don't think so. That's okay. I guess I'm leaving my blood there for free.
And she will. So as she kind of pushed out, she says, "Do you mind me asking you a question?"
Sure.
It's not often we get fairies around here. Which of the courts do you come from?
I'm from Autumn.
So what brings you to our newly founded haven?
I am familiar. Well, that's a very long story. Firstly, I was present during the unfortunate encounters with the hags here in spring.
Okay.
So I did perhaps play a part in helping free you guys from it. A small part. I'm not, anything of particularly unique standing. And I happen to be acquainted with your new king, soon to be.
Truly.
Yes.
Well, in the interest of full disclosure, I should inform you that my husband is not the greatest fan of our soon-to-be ruler.
I am aware that there are hesitations from some people. I have full faith in the soon-to-be king to be capable of quashing such hesitancies through his noble action.
I truly hope for the best for our new king. In fact, if you would be willing to do something for me without my husband's knowledge, if that would be suitable for yourself.
I can certainly do my best, yeah.
She goes under the table and pulls out a box wrapped like it's like not like wrapped or anything like that, but it's like it's got like a kind of velvet cover folded over it, and she uncovers it and hands it to you, opening it up to show a beautiful it's like two rings attached by delicate chains to like a filigree bracelet. And she says this was made generations ago by my family, my maiden family, the Lily Guilds. And it was worn by the Spring Maiden for a time. When she was no longer wearing it, she gave it back to her family. Would you give this to the future queen for me? As a show that some families do not think the same way.
I would be honored to.
She smiles and she bows her head to you and she's like, I truly appreciate that. And
Reverie will also bow her head.
And I hope that you can... our new king can convince my husband.
As do I. I will take the box. I'm heading to Lily Guilds. I will say as I walk there, I'm casting detect. What is it? What's the name of that spell?
Detect magic?
Yes.
Okay.
Excuse me. What is that?
So it is magical. Very specifically, the magic that it has on it is... give me a moment just while I quickly check something. Excuse me. Is it this one? Is it this book? I'm just looking for the right spell. Give me a moment. Sorry, I can't find the spell I'm looking for. Just give me just one little moment, guys. I promise it'll be worth it. There is magic on it. It is evocation.
Ooh,
but there is there's a difference to it. You've seen evocation magic before because, like, you know, anything that utilizes the four elements is generally evocation magic. This is evocation. It has the same aura and feel, but it feels... what's the best word to... it feels raw. Less like evocation magic and more like living, breathing evocation magic. As if there's a sense of life attached to it.
Okay. Yep.
But that's all Detect Magic will tell you. If you want to know anything more, it'll have to be an identify spell.
Oh, I intend to find castaways later. Don't worry. First, I have to go get a pair of silver shoes.
I will tell you that the spell level. Oh, I forgot to take magic. Give you the spell level. It is a 5th level spell that's on it.
Ooh, pretty high magic. Okay. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Once I get my silver shoes, I will. Yes.
Okay, so you go to Lily. So you're going to. If it's the cobblers you're going to, that would be Brightleaf.
Yeah.
Okay. So you go to Brightleaf, you're just looking for silver shoes. Fairly easily done. Silver shoes. Are we talking high heels, boots, or flats? Like, what are we looking at here?
A little heel.
Just a little heel.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Little heel. I'm not. I won't gouge you for any more. You've been ran through the ringer with all the posh folk. 200 gold.
Okay. Easily done.
And then you're going to find Kessler's.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that what we can do is we'll put you there. We'll go to our break just now, and when we come back, we'll go to Aria before we circle back round everybody, and then we'll come to you with Kessler's, okay? We're going to jump away for our break a little bit earlier than usual, folks, but we're going to do it anyway. Don't go anywhere. We will see you in 20 minutes. We'll see you in 20 minutes, guys, okay? Don't go anywhere. We'll see you after our break.
Woo!
Hi there, folks. We are back. Sorry, we got distracted talking about the trend that's going around TikTok. 100 Americans versus 100 British folk. Who would win? So we got a wee bit distracted there. But now that we're back, I did say I was going to jump over now to Arya, who was... You just wanted to show Zotali, and who else was it you were showing around?
Nazir. I was kind of like just
Zotali and Nazir.
like showing, Zotali around, but mostly also getting Nazir feeling a little more comfortable and familiar with Spring, taking in some music, especially maybe seeing if I can run into any friends I made last time we were here. And I think Arya would also want to, like, later on, like after she does that with them and like maybe tries to join in a little with like the music playing, she'd want to like go back to like where like the shops and stalls were and see if she could get something for herself that she meant to get at the human city when the girls were going to go shopping, but that didn't end up happening. So it's not really like anything specifically like magical. It's just like she wants to get herself like kind of like a symbol or animal or something like that for like the greater hand, like something that she can have with her for like this new kind of belief that she's been kind of like taking comfort in, similar to like what she had worn as like the brooch that she made with her magic for the human city's party, the hand that kind of looks like the Hamza hand, but like instead of an eye it has like a cap bell in the center, like for the greater hand. But mostly just kind of just soaking in Spring again and really enjoying how much it's grown and changed since the last time they were here, especially after she saw that vision of it when she astral projected and got tapped into Spring's like psionic network. And maybe if she finds like a stall that has like fabrics while she's looking for a jeweler to make her holy symbol, she'd like to try and get like a swath to add to her patchwork collection.
Okay.
For a new memory in this place.
So the first thing you mentioned there was the settling in, like getting Nazir to feel comfortable. Okay?
Yeah.
So what I'm going to say for that is, because there's so many varying things that are going to happen, instead of putting it down to a particular test, what I'm going to say is I've rolled 3 D100s for each of the things that you've asked to do.
Okay, that's fair.
Making Nazir comfortable, seeing old friends, getting necklace. Okay?
Yeah,
or getting
I think...
holy symbol. So what you do is roll me a D100 to try and get Nazir to feel comfortable. If you roll lower than what I've rolled, we'll count it as a success.
Okay, if it helps, I'd probably bring them to like where the music is, because the human city, like their culture growing up, they had music playing always constantly in the city, and Arya knows that music is a big integral part of Spring's history and culture as well, so maybe having that connection could help.
Okay. Yeah, cool. Well, roll me the D100 and we'll see how it goes.
Okay. That is a 9 and 2 zeros.
So that is a total of 9.
Yeah.
So that is going to be a successful roll. That's much lower than what I got here. So after doing a great many things, getting some of the food, taking them where the music is, Nazir does start to settle in a little bit. He starts to become a bit more comfortable. And despite getting a few strange looks from some of the Eladrin that are there, he does start to kind of ease into himself. So you'll be successful in that one. While you're sitting here, you have a look at the musicians, trying to see if you have friends among them that you could maybe join in with them. Again, another D100 roll, so roll it for me.
Okay. Okay, that was 24.
Okay, so 24 is not going to be lower than what I rolled on that one. So the musicians you're looking at you don't recognise their faces. They don't seem to be the same musicians that you'd made friends with before. Not to say you won't ever see them again. They just don't happen to be these ones. These ones look to be a bit younger, playing music which is very, very like really deep rooted spring sounding music. None of the outward influence. It's very, very spring central music that they're playing. Lots and lots of lots and lots of pipes, flutes. There is a violin being played, but it's being played in a way that whoever taught you violin, if they saw a violin being played like this, they would rip it out of the person's hand. That is to say, they're playing it in the colloquial term where you wouldn't call it a violin, you'd call it a fiddle.
Could I try joining in a little bit? Fiddling rather than violining? Because I like it, because Arya likes being part of the music, and but she also has a deep respect for Spring's history music. She wouldn't want to try and put her style in it. She want to like add in like, like.
So, I mean, I'm not going to say no. You certainly could, and I think Arya is definitely capable. But one, the style might be a bit different than what Arya is used to playing, and number two, there's no sense if this is like a join in if you can style thing.
Oh, so it's not like a band kind of thing.
It's definitely a band. It just doesn't seem to be like a join in band. But that's not to say Arya can't start playing. You definitely can. Just might get some looks if you do.
I think if she picks up that it's not like a join in kind of thing, for once she wouldn't try to, because
to put it in another way, you haven't seen anybody walk up and join in.
Okay. I'm actually going to roll on this one. Because she loves being a part of things, but she also understands that, like, for Spring, like, their music's so deeply integral to, like, when you've grown up in Spring, that's part of your history. Like, someone could play the notes, but they wouldn't necessarily understand the music if they didn't grow up with that, and she respects that. But
Spring is very much a case of you can play the music, you can sing the songs. And that's all very, very nice and very pleasant. You can definitely do it well. But being from Spring and hearing those words is very, very different than, hey, I heard this song and like it.
Yeah, it's part of who they are. I think in that instance, for once, she wouldn't try and join in. She would just appreciate. And even though she would like to be a part of it, in this instance, she recognizes that, like, it's almost like that moment, like, where, like, an artist understands that, like, this isn't my story to tell or join in on. It's, like, passing the mic. So she just listens and appreciates, especially because, like, this is the culture that inspired her to start working on her own song. Initially trying to come up with what her history would sound like, but now trying to create something that can do something more. So I think she just listens appreciatively, maybe asks Sotali what he thinks about it, because I know you said you like music as well.
Zotali
like this, asking the astral plane.
Zotali will nod along and then say, like, we heard a great many songs, but never anything quite as lively as this. This has a lot more life to it.
Yeah, a lot more heart. It's part of who they are. I have a deep respect for it. They listening to Spring's music and understanding it's part of their history. It really inspired me to try and write. Well, initially it started out as a little experiment trying to write a song for the first time about what my own song's history would sound like, but now it's kind of become something a bit different, a different goal for it.
Well, it's an admirable goal, all the same.
Well, I hope so. To put it simply, I'm trying to write a song that maybe can have the power to heal a broken heart. Something that connects and uplifts people. Helps them feel less alone. It's not done yet, but...
Well, I would say that the major thing, that's as it sounds in my head, is that if you're going to write a song about that, experience it, live it.
Well, there was a lot of life I wasn't allowed to experience and live when I was back home. Now I'm trying to make up for lost time. And being here, I'm still finding a place that feels like belonging, feels like home. But this place, its people, it comes pretty close. I have a deep respect for Springs because it's so alive.
I do like it.
I'm glad. Plus, everyone wants a friendly faces here.
With the last part, that's going to be you looking for a place to have your amulet made for you.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be
And find a swap for my skirt.
yes. So collection of materials and such. So roll me a D100.
Okay. That is a 10 and a 9.
A 10 and a 9.
Alex, I think that's if I can't tell if that's a 1 or a 7.
Well,
It's like a 1-0 or 7-0. I can't. No, that's a 1-0 and then a 9.
Okay, so that is going to be much lower than what I rolled, so that's going to be again another success. I'm going to call it on that. So at one of these market stalls, there's loads and loads of different types of fabrics you can find. However, the fabrics haven't really changed from spring, other than what you've already got. So you can still, by all means, take another piece if you like. They'll definitely sell you it, but it's not going to be any different than the fabric you've already got.
Maybe a different color, even if the fabric itself isn't like much different. Like it's more about like the new memory, so to speak. Like I got to see spring when it was one way, and now I get to see how much it's grown and like thrived. And
Okay.
now I also get to see my friends be coronated and married here. I want to carry that memory with me.
Okay. Then yeah, they can give you another piece of it. We'll call it 5 silver for a piece of material.
Okie dokie. And I will immediately start stitching that onto my skirt. My patchwork of memories.
As for jewellery, you're told of a few places, but you're told the best place to get jewellery in the city is to go to, and they point you towards the east side of the city, and they say you're looking for a place called the Gilded Lily.
The Gilded Lily. Alrighty. Pretty name.
They inform you that they are the best jewel makers and jewel crafters in all of the Spring Courts.
Alright. I'll go there then, because I'm not looking for the most fancy thing. I want something that's made from someone who an artisan who clearly loves what they do. I think that'll feel more meaningful, regardless of quality. So if this is that person, then I will go there happily.
So with that, they'll say to you that with the Lily Guild family, you're getting both.
Wonderful.
It will be fancy, but they have always taken a pride in the craft.
that case, I'll go there.
Okay. So then you're making your way to the Gilded Lily.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, finding the Gilded Lily is very easy. What you find is a tall birch tree, but with no bark on the outside, just plain smooth wood. But there is bands of woven filigree metal around the outside of it and inlaid into the wood, making it look like it itself has been ornamented. Inside the shop is bright, airy, and it is covered in geodes, jewels, gemstones, different types of very, very fine, precious metals. And there's a very, very small, very bubbly springy ladron who'll see you and walk over and be like, "Hello there, welcome to the Gilded Lily. How can I help you today?"
Hi there. I hope you're having a lovely day. I was hoping to buy a piece for myself. Ideally a brooch or some sort of thing I can have as like an amulet or a holy symbol, so to speak. Something I can carry with me. It doesn't have to be too fancy if it's polished wood that's there, or if you have any metals that are like rose gold, I'm very fond of. And I'll explain to her the kind of the design and like what I'm looking for. And if you have something like that, I would truly appreciate the craftsmanship.
Well, we can create for you really anything that you'd be looking for. If you're a fan of rose gold, we certainly have some great sources for locating some of that. What particular kind of piece would you be looking for? Is this a bracelet, necklace, piercing? Is it a ring? Is it something a bit more far out there? What kind of thing are you looking for?
Do you think you'd be able to do a brooch? That way I could pin it to my my skirt here, my patchwork of memories, so to speak.
We could certainly make a brooch for you. Is it to be inlaid with anything at all?
Doesn't have to be. Well, as I said, the center would have a bit of a hanging, like, capped bell in the center of the hand design. I don't suppose... This might sound a bit silly, but I don't suppose there's anything you'd have that kind of harkens to celestial beings, would there?
I'm not sure I understand what you mean by celestial beings. I mean, if you're asking about do we have anything that has come from the astral seas, we certainly do have some geodes and stones that have fallen from the stars, but we don't have. I don't know what you mean by celestials other than that.
Probably not then, but like the heavenly planes, so to speak, in more layman's terms, like the colloquial term is angel, I suppose.
I'm afraid I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, that's all right, no worries. They're not exactly common here on Atuma, so. But I am curious about the astral zones. May I take a look at those, please?
Of course. And she will pull out, like, several examples of, like, moonstones and stuff that fall into the ground. She gestures to a couple of different examples of, like, gemstones and geodes that have been found inside clusters of meteorite and such that have crashed.
What do you think, Zotali?
Zotali looks over them and he's going to point to one of them. And he's going to say, that one there is absolutely worthless. We find them by the dozen in the astral sea. And then he's going to point to the other one. This one looks more like a traditional geode, but the colours are wildly different. And he's going to say, that one, however, is, it's nice.
Which one do you enjoy most? Not what by the value, but when you look at it, it just kind of makes you feel good inside.
Oh, the first one.
Do you think you could be inlaid with the first one, please?
And she will look at that and say, "We can certainly do that for you. Yes. Are you looking to have this have any kind of magical properties at all?"
It doesn't have to. It's more about what the symbol itself means to me. Something I take a lot of comfort in. Reminder of what something that gives me hope, so to speak. So, and helps me give others hope if I can. So, it doesn't have to be magical, but maybe something that can kind of amplify that, if that's possible, for others, or even for myself. But if that's not possible, then I'm more than happy just having it as the jewelry piece itself. I'm sure it's going to be absolutely lovely.
So mechanically, is what you're asking for something that would allow you to be heard more? Like...
No, I think it's like something that can like similar to bardic inspiration, kind of like, or like maybe something that helps. Well, hang on, I actually have Harold's horns for like the fear thing, so yeah, it doesn't have to be anything like that. Yeah, I think it's just more the symbol itself. Like that should be enough for Arya. It doesn't have to be magical. So it doesn't have to be magical. Just the symbol itself. But it would be great to have it inlaid with the astral gem that Sotali had pointed out, and with the rose gold as well.
She'll say, "We can certainly do that for you with the inclusion of a very rare stone, as well as the rose gold, which we will have, and the custom design you're wanting. I can have all of this done for the price of 1,400.
Just to clarify, DM 1,400 gold or 1,400 platinum?
1,400 gold.
1,400 gold. Just double check my gold. I should have enough. Oh yeah, I can do that. Sounds good.
Okay.
When would it be? How quickly would it be ready by?
I can have this ready for you in a day.
Oh, lovely. Then I will see you when I come pick it up. Then thank you so much. I'm sorry. What may I call you?
My name is Elisa.
Elisa, thank you so much for your work, Elisa. It's a pleasure to meet you as well. I'm Arya. From one artisan to another, I very much appreciate your commission.
She will extend a hand towards you, and she's wearing like it's like a thin, it looks like very, very fine chainmail. Possibly something for handling, like materials that could be dangerous to the skin or something like that. She offers her a hand to shake your hand.
I will shake her hand.
Okay. Does a 22 hit?
Yeah, that hits.
Okay. As she shakes your hand, and as you release, there's like a little like stab of pain, like a little spike, not like overwhelming pain, like you're rooting around in a box to try and find something, and you've left a sewing needle inside it.
Oh.
You know, that kind of like a little, and she kind of like, I'm so sorry, and she pulls off the glove, and she's like, "We use it for handling gemstones that have a sharp edge. I'm very, very sorry about that."
That's all right. Not the first time I've been pricked with a needle. I did a bit of sewing myself, so as you can see. Is it bleeding? Did I cut you? I'm very sorry. No, I think it's all right. It was an accident.
And I'm going to make a roll medicine check. Medicine check. Oh, boom, nat 20. There you go, smashing. So, she kind of looks at it and goes, I'm really, really... she looks around. She seems to be getting quite, like, frantic. Like, she's really upset that she's... Oh no, I've caused you pain. And she grabs just like a napkin and wipes away the very very small trickle of blood, and then gives it a little rub. And she's going to use like a healing word. Even though you've lost no hit points, she's like, magic. But she will basically healing word it, and she's like, I'm so sorry, I really didn't mean that. I hope I didn't get blood on anything.
No harm, no foul, just a little prick, but it was, I know it was an accident, and I appreciate the heal. That was very kind of you.
I will send you a sending when your order is completed, and you can come and pick that up.
Sounds brilliant. Can't wait to see you then.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you. And again,
you.
very, very
day.
sorry about that. Have a lovely day.
You as well. Bye. And Sarah will head out with Zatali and Nazir again. So, well, she was lovely. I always enjoy meeting other craftsmen who enjoy the artwork that they do. Other creators. If we ever get the chance to, I should bring you to Harmony Falls. I think you'd really like it there. You think this place is lively. That place is full of so much life and color and creation, and just it might be one of my favorite places I've ever been to.
This place is loud enough.
Oh, do you need to find a bit of a quieter area to decompress a bit? I'm sorry, I didn't know you were getting overwhelmed.
No, it's nothing like that. I can barely hear you talk because of the noise.
Oh, got you. I'm a little more used to that, being around musicians and all, so.
With that, we're going to jump back over to Reverie, who's going to find Kesselies. Reverie, finding Kesselies is easy. You find a shady spot under a tree. Kesselies is reading a book.
I have a thing.
You have what, sorry?
I have a thing.
You have a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, you're sorry. Right. Sorry, I was like, I thought you were talking to me as like Liz. I was like, what?
No.
Right. Okay, so you approach Kesley, so like something goes, you have a thing.
Can you tell me what it does? If it's evil? Perhaps.
I can't tell you if it's evil, but I can tell you what it does to someone.
I can.
He'll put his hand out for it.
I will hold out the box and place it in his hand.
He takes it, opens up, looks at it and goes, looks nice, looks lovely. And then he'll start to channel as he's going to cast Identify. And as he casts Identify, his face goes, like, twists. And it's almost like as he's learning more about it, his face shows more and more disgust. It's going to say, you haven't worn this, have you?
No.
Right, okay. I don't know what type of magic this is, but it's some kind of bastardized evocation.
It's like it's living, right?
It feels alive. If you put this on, it's gonna... The way the runes are worked on it, it's like it's saying it'll turn life against you. He'll go into explaining it a little bit more. But what is on it is essentially what's going to find out is it's a ring which has a 5th level version of this lovely spell called Consumption. From the lovely people at Grimhollow. As part of casting this spell, the caster must expend a hit die or the spell will automatically fail. If you do, You choose a creature within range and roll the hit die. So, for the essence of what this would be, this is an enchantment spell placed on it. The target would be the one who wears the ring. They roll a hit die. The creature will lose a number of hit points equal to that result. For the duration of this spell, the creature must make a Constitution saving throw at the end of each of its turns. On a failure, roll the hit die expended to cast this spell again, and the creature will lose that many hit points. So just constantly losing hit points for the length and duration. As he describes it, essentially your own blood would be forced up out of your body. You would literally die of consumption. Magical
Okay.
tuberculosis.
Okay. And that's to the wearer or to the whoever the wearer chooses?
To the one who puts it on.
Okay. Perfect. Good to know. They think I'm stupid. This is Reverie the Cousins. They think I'm dumb.
Who gave you this?
Mrs. Blood.
The one who... The what? Bloodthorn, that's the family that doesn't like Khernun, right?
Correct. Hold on. Pause. We're going to... I'm going to look around. And then I'm going to... What do I have? What do I have? Revere's gonna lean forward to cast Light and Dark. Can you see things that are invisible?
I can cast a spell that lets me.
Cool. Can you check real quick?
Okay. He will cast see invisibility and look around. Nothing stands out. Why?
I'm just being cautious. Because things are a little tense.
How are they tense?
Well, I'm gonna write it out because I don't. Is anyone around us that's like paying attention to us particularly?
I wouldn't say paying major attention, no.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna write it down, and I'm just gonna write that there is a coup attempt, but this is a secret between a handful of us now here.
He will look over that and then in his hand he'll just, produce flame. Feed the bit of what you've wrote into the flame and dissipate it. We should probably get everyone together.
Yep, I agree.
Okay. I'll go find Elion, you find Arya, Nazir and Zotali.
Yes.
Okay. Don't wander down any dark alleys.
You don't as well. If I wander down a dark alley and something happens, I'm going to produce a pillar of flame so bright you will see it throughout the entire city.
Fair. And then he will turn and he'll go off to try and find Elion.
I'm gonna go find Arya.
Okay? Coming back to Elion with that one. Elion, you spoke to the smith.
Yep.
After the smith, what are you doing?
Honestly, I don't know. I'd probably be just trying to have a look around and meandering until I eventually run into someone else that I know. Just kind of,
Okay. Just
taking it
meandering.
in, just taking it in and being like, "This is so weird."
Roll me a d8.
1.
1. Okay. As you're wandering around, you'll eventually be found by Kessleys.
Mm-hmm.
And Kessleys will just immediately walk up to you. Very quick, looking quite panicked. Say, "Hello, Elion. Hope you've had a nice day, Elion. We have a problem."
How?
Somebody trying to do nasty things to people we like.
Nasty things, as in like nasty things, or as in like nasty things?
As in, Khernun end up dead, the rest of us probably in prison awaiting execution, nasty things.
You lost me at prison. Khernun. Okay. God, I can't have an hour's peace.
Welcome to political environment.
So, what? You need me to come with you?
Yeah, we need everybody back together so we can kind of figure out what our next steps are.
Sure. Okay.
It's at that point you will just hear a voice from nearby. You guys go, "I was wondering when I bump into our new king's summer lapdog."
I'll swivel.
And there's a group of about maybe 5 Spring Eladrin. I wouldn't say armoured, but they're definitely wearing like clothes that are designed to be able to move in and stuff.
Yeah.
Assortment of weapons, but the one at the front has a very, very standout looking longsword.
Mm-hmm.
And they have like a kind of chestnutty hair which glimmers a little bit of red in the light. And they look over as they lean on this longsword and just go, "The best thing you could do, it would be to leave our city and allow what's going to happen happen. Let events take their course."
You'll have to be more specific. I'm shopping.
We know who you are. We know
Doesn't
who you
everybody?
arrived. We know who you arrived with. And we have a different idea for how our city should evolve, how our people should move forward.
Right.
And your friend is not that.
Right. Well, that sounds like a problem for a court, no?
See, we've always handled things with courts. This whole thing was handled with a court. And they put a commoner in charge. So we would like to see things a different way. And with someone like yourself here, we don't see that as a possibility.
Well, of course. How are you supposed to best said commoner when you can't even best his bodyguards?
So you actually admit that he does have bodyguards?
No, he's my friend.
You choose very poor friends. I expected better of you.
They're what
I
have.
heard that you were a decorated soldier of many great and well-known battles.
I mean, I can show you if you'd like.
A demonstration of your martial prowess. No, I understand, I do. And I'm sure you would best me quite handily. But see, this is where the mind of a true leader comes into play. I don't want to fight you.
Wise.
It would be a waste of effort. One, I'd most likely end up dead, and two, nothing will change if you win.
Well, I'll feel better.
I'm sure you would. Which is why I'm going to arrange a present for you.
Right.
But that's neither here nor there. I'm here to give you a chance to avoid all this nastiness. All you have to do is leave.
So, I leave.
Yes?
You enact some great conspiring plan.
Yes?
Spring is better under your watch.
It is.
May I ask one simple question, just for clarification?
Of course. Of course you can.
How many cavalry charges have you led?
7. And you?
None. I don't like horses.
Oh, no, neither do I. Terrible creatures.
See, what's funny is you expect me to follow your opinion when you couldn't even be bothered to show up to the fight. It screams, what's the word? Cowardice. And if there's one thing I don't like, it's people who have no spine. So, while I very much appreciate your candid demeanor, why don't you go fuck yourself?
At that point, standing next to you, Kesseli's hand is going to go to his sword.
I put my arm on my hand on him just to keep him in, like, so I know he's there.
Okay. Harahal, who has been silent throughout this entire thing, is also going to put his hand, not like drawing, but like, you know, hand on it.
Mm-hmm.
And just giving the eyes right back at them. He also makes a point of moving behind you so that he's on your... While Kesslis is on your left, Harahal moves around to your right.
Mm-hmm.
And this person looks it over and goes, 6 against 3 is hardly a fair fight to you.
You need at least 10 more men.
Oh, I doubt that. Quite severely. You know that kings aren't like him. Kings aren't low-born common morons. Kings are bred from excellence. They are taught from a young age to aspire to that excellence.
Currently, the reigning Primarch of Summer, the reigning Primarch of Autumn, sorry, is a common fairy from a village thousands of years ago. Your soon-to-be king is a common lumberjack from a place hundreds of years ago. The only bred king is Summer, and he's currently eating shit. I don't think your theory stands.
You will rue the day you crossed this family. Bloodthorns do not forget.
When I'm done with you, Spring Man, there'll be none of you left to remember.
When I am through with you, there will be nothing left to take back to your precious summer. You'll be fertilizer for my wife's petunias.
So your wife will have 2 pieces of shit in the house.
Oh, that was fucking good. That was good. Harahal is going to actively... Ah! At which point the guy is going to do that. You know that thing they always do when they're posh and they've been taught how to sword fight and something they always go... like, squeeze their lips together and wrinkle their nose a bit. Does that. My father is a very powerful man. I can make you very rich. Or I can make you very dead.
I could go with rich. But I want to be like filthy rich. Like 10 million platinum rich?
You ask for far above your station. Far, far above your station.
I'm an expensive man.
I need to make a roll. That's not a real dice. Okay. He turns, says to the rest of his... says to the rest of his entourage, come on. There are better ways to spend our time. Rather than tumbling around in the dirt with the dirt. And they'll turn and they'll walk off. But let it be very well known, you have now made an enemy of the heir to the Bloodthorn family.
What an odd chap.
He's going to lean over. Kesslis is going to lean over. Say, didn't really sound like the kind of person that we should be pissing off.
Yes. Every person's the kind of person you should piss off.
Harahal's going to enter on that and go, besides, he really seems like the kind of person who picked a longsword because everybody else that was big and strong had one. And didn't quite go the full length with it. Who leans on a sword? But I do share Kesseli's opinion that we should be a bit more careful.
Why? I'm
Well,
all for
one-
espionage, but who do we lose to? He actively said he's weaker than all of us.
Yes, but he also did say he had the money to be able to make sure there's more of them than there is of us.
So he has 20 goons. How unfortunate.
I think we should be cautious. That's all I'm saying.
You didn't share that sentiment when you jumped off a third floor balcony and attacked a dragon head down.
That was a very different matter.
There.
Also, that was only half a dragon. Kesseli's is
totally-
it? Go ahead.
I totally won that exchange, though, right? Like he seemed very upset.
Oh, in a battle of wits, you were up against an unarmed opponent.
100%.
Kesseli's is going to put a hand on both Harahal and your shoulders and be like, I really love that we're all bonding over this. I truly, truly do. But we should probably find Reverie and Arya and figure out what we're going to do. Because I do not think that's the welcome wagon.
Okay, but the issue is, once we return and we share the outcome of that exchange, I'm going to get shit for putting words in people's mouths again, and I'm going to get shit for making enemies, and I'm going to get shit for stalking my way into trouble. So, like, can we at least bask in positive affirmation for 5 minutes before I get bombarded with hatred?
Fine. We bask for 5 minutes and then we leave.
Thanks.
Okay? Is there anything else you would like to do early on?
No, I'm good.
No, you're good after that? Okay. Because of where we've reached, because of the things you've done, and because of things I want to do next, I'm going to ask this. Is there anything any of my party members want to do that is a fairly minor, fairly quick thing? Because I'd like to wrap us there so I can go into something else when we all come together.
Mm-hmm.
Because, well...
You,
Sorry?
I was gonna say I might have something. It's more
Okay.
of a like you can tell me if it's gonna take a minute. I wanted to scry on the lady that has me.
Oh, you wanted to scry on the lady from Bloodthorn's Finery.
Yeah.
I don't think that'll take too long. We can do that if that we can do it if you want. Arya, is there anything you have that you want to do? Something that's fairly quick.
Like a small RP kind of thing, just something I don't want to ask like Zotali as we're walking and talking and like just looking and just like enjoying spring. Like a quick little question.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we can do that. Early on, anything else you want to touch on?
Nah, I'm chilling.
Nah, you're chilling after absolutely slagging the guy.
that was some good shit talk.
Slagging Northern Irish Draco Malfoy into absolute oblivion.
Also, a spring guy who like
I'm gonna
dirt and mud. Like,
I'm
really?
gonna put you in my wife's petunias. There'll be 2 pieces of shit in your wife's house. Whoa, yeah, that was quick, man. That was really quick.
Good.
That was good. Right, Reverie, you want to cast Scrying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Before I give her too much time to be doing something that I can't.
Okay, so this is very specific here, okay? I don't need to know any of the details. As you cast Scrying, you gain a very, very brief image of her just seemingly measuring out fabric before there is just a wave of red and a pulsing tension right through your mind. Not that it causes damage to you, but in a sense that something is keeping you out. Not, to be very clear, not a magical something. Not a I have a ring that does something, or I have an item that does something. Like a living, breathing something. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right. As your scry is blocked. So what's Reverie reaction to the scry being blocked?
I'm gonna set it.
You want to set her on fire.
Yep.
I don't
My
know how
next
I'd make-
available opportunity.
At my next available opportunity, I would like to immolate this
Perhaps
woman.
I may even call my date tonight and see if he would like to set her on fire.
I
'Cause I
cast
feel like
plain
he'd get
white
joy out of
immolate.
I feel like that's foreplay for.
I feel like he'd get joy out of it.
I cast, but Daddy, she was mean to me.
I cast, hey, honey. You're not gonna believe this.
I cast, hey, I know we've only been dating for a short amount of time, but I need you to beat up this girl's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to send Ascending to Asmodeus? Do you wish to invoke the power of the Lord of the Nine Hells because some bitch has your blood on a napkin?
Yeah.
With him tonight.
Not just that she has my blood, she gave me a glove trying to tell me to give it to my friend to kill my friend. I'm not dumb. Reverie's remarkably not dumb. As much as she pretends like that she is.
Honestly, between you and Sheila, you guys like take turns holding the brain cell in the party. Let's be real.
So, the question still stands. Do you want to send Ascending to Asmodeus?
Yeah. Real quick.
Okay.
I want to
What-
get his
what-
opinion.
What do you say to your boo?
Hey, it's Reverie. Just a quick question, I suppose. If you had someone take your blood unwillingly, what would you do to them? Oh, and they're starting a coup.
Do I have him be serious or do I have him be himself? Nah, he'll answer and just say, well, for starters, I would ask them, why exactly are they taking my blood instead of respecting the boundaries we had in place before we started our little dance debonair? Second of all, whatever they took from me, I'd take from them. And thirdly, if someone's taken your blood and you're feeling worried about it, that sounds a lot like sangromancy to me. Blood magic.
I'll cast another sending. I suppose you'll have to fill me in on your knowledge of it tonight.
Oh, I will do my very best to fill you in.
Heyo!
I just realised how those words now sound.
Hey! On the first date? That's crazy.
Tell me something good. Tell me that you like it.
Baby, lock the door and turn the lights down low.
Wait. Now I need to know. What would the Asmodeus is like getting down music.
Bam, 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 bam,
Asmodeus is just
No, oh God, I don't know. Like, it's the weirdest question. Like, what's Asmodeus' getting down music? I don't know. Fucking get down on it. Get down on it. Bam, down, down. Get
It's
down on
like
it.
it's baby lock the door and turn the
specifically-
lights down low.
No, you can't.
Oh no,
can't
wait,
destroy
it's
us
Marvin
all.
Gaye. It's Marvin Gaye. I've been really trying, baby.
No,
Nah.
no. It's gonna be something wild and wonderful.
Or something
Ascension is a
flameless.
my
Oh,
slave
no.
token.
I know. It's Feed My Frankenstein.
Ooh.
I'm actually not familiar with that one.
I didn't think you would be. It's Alice Cooper. Okay. What was the last one? Was it me or you that sent the last sending back?
It was you.
It was me. So, yes, it was. Basically inform you that it sounds like blood magic to him. To be on your guard. And then he'll end it with what time am I going to pick? What time am I picking you up?
I'll cast another sending. Well, once I go get blood from the lady that I also have to pick up my dress from, which should be done at dusk. So give me an hour after dusk.
I will be there on the dot. I am looking forward to our... What is it? A date?
Yes. As am I.
And then the connection will dissipate. Thank you, Reverie. Thank you. Now we're going to go to Arya. Arya, you had a small RP thing you wanted to do.
Yeah. It's just like I'm just like walking and talking with like Satali, with Nazir, and just enjoying the sights. But I think after seeing like the astral stones and like thinking about the astral plane again, she like there was something like kind of a question in the back of her mind that she had always had hope to ask Satali, and now that he's here, she'll like turn and it's like, "Hey, Satali, do you mind if I ask you a question? And it's okay if you say no or if you just don't remember from when we first met back in the astral plane."
Yes. Ask any question you wish.
Back at the masquerade, why did you ask me to dance? I mean, it's not like there was any shortage of more grand and powerful and, just special people there. Certainly people who are less awkward in high courtly settings than me. But you still tapped my shoulder. You still wanted to dance with me. Why?
Well, there were a number of reasons. You looked interesting. You were the only one not dancing. And you seemed to stand out in a world that was meant to make you blend in. Like me.
Yeah.
And I saw a kindred spirit.
I think it is a kindred spirit too. When we talked, when we shared our interests and our likes and how we saw the world, and you understood what it also is to be forced to be silenced. It made me feel understood in a way that no one else ever had before, not even my aunt, for all her unconditional love and support. And that really meant a lot to me. I honestly never thought I'd find someone like that. It's why I really wanted to see you again. To find you. And because I promised to, next time we saw each other, that we could just talk and I'd play a song just for you. I'm really glad that you asked me to dance. So thank you for
I'm
seeing
I'm
me.
glad I'm glad you said yes. I've never had a friend like you before. So it's good to know that it's there.
Uh, she'll like take his hands and give him a bit of a squeeze. I'm happy to have you as a friend too. I didn't really have many friends growing up, any at all, really, until I left home and joined the party. And I'm happy to consider you one of them.
He will squeeze your hands back, give you a big smile, and then he'll say, "There's a lot in this world I don't understand, but I am glad to have a friend like you that can. I'm glad that there's a person like you in my life that can make sure I see the right things."
A little bit of a blush comes on her cheeks as he says that. Well, I know you've got a bit of a journey ahead of you, this new self exploration, but whatever happens, I can promise you that you're not going to have to face it alone.
And for that, I am eternally grateful.
Are you opposed to hugs, or
I'm not opposed to hugs, no.
she'll immediately like just wrap him in a hug?
He hugs back. Fairly tight, squishy one. Is there anything else you wanted on that, Arya?
No, that's just it. Just enjoying that moment of connection.
Okay. And with that nice little moment, I think that's a nice place to round it off. I know we're finishing a wee half hour early, but I think ending there before we all come together and something happens, I think that's good so that the thing I want to happen doesn't get rushed because I've got a really cool idea now because of things.
Ooh.
So, thank you very much to my players for coming and leaning into a session that is all exploration and all role play. Thank you so much. I know a lot of people don't get the thrills from exploration and shit that I do, but I love exploration.
I love
It's
it.
such
I
a
love
good,
it.
it's the
I
best
eat it up.
pillar to
love
play.
it so much.
I eat it up. Nom nom nom.
But
Hey,
thank you very
good
much, and
RP,
thank
good
you
R-
for
role building.
Thank you very much, and thank you for everybody that came to see us. Now, if you enjoy what you've seen here today, do come and see our other sessions. We have Monday nights at 3 p.m. CST. We have Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. CST. Thursday at 5:30 CST. Fridays at 6 p.m. CST. Saturdays at 5 p.m. CST. And then on Sundays, we play at midnight, no, not midnight, 6 p.m. CST. We currently have D&D as well as Dragon Age the TTRPG, which is our Saturday game. So there's a good variety of things, and we have more planned on the horizon. We are going to have eventually at some point Vessin and Old Gods of Appalachia, and once I get my hands on it, I found out there's going to be an Invincible TTRPG, so I want a game set in the world of Invincible because that's just going to be awesome as shit. I'm also even looking into the Warhammer 40k TTRPGs, which I used to play years ago, and I would love to stream a game of them. But there's definitely loads we've got planned here on World Tree Quests, and you should go and check out all of our social medias at World Tree Quests. Everywhere you can think of, but we're mostly active on our Blue Sky, our Threads, and our TikTok. Another thing to keep in mind is, as I mentioned before, Owlbear Adventures, 3 p.m. CST on Wednesday. You can see me being a an artificer extraordinaire wielding some really cool gadgets and gizmos. It's going to be really fun. Please do come along and see it. I'm very nervous, but I'm also very excited about my first session with this group. So please come and see it. Other than that, I'm going to pass over my players, let them plug themselves, and let them tell you where you can see their faces. Harry, where can we see your face?
Just facially, nowhere else other than here, of course, because my existence is, completely beholden on like the 4 hour period that this is live. But you can see my wordsy words on Blue Sky. That guy just Harry. And maybe you could see me physically at the Games Expo at the end of the month. Woof, woof.
UK Games Expo.
Other than that, I don't exist.
Oh, no, it does exist. If you ever want to see an AI in person, come to UK Games Expo. We'll introduce you. Thank you very much, Harry. Moving on right along to Liz.
Hi, if you want to see my face anywhere else, you cannot. I am exclusively with World Tree Quests. However, if you would like to follow me on social medias, you can follow me at Patron of Chaos, all one word swished together, or patron_of_chaos on Instagram, TikTok, or Blue Sky.
Absolutely love it. Thank you so much for that, Liz. And last and most certainly not least, Khadija, anything you would like to plug at all?
Hi, if you want to see me play D&D anywhere else, no you can't. I'm exclusively here at World Tree Quest with these amazing people and storytellers. But if you want to see me do other things, you can find me at Kadish Al Kubra on most social media platforms, particularly Instagram, Archive of Our Own, a little bit of Blue Sky, but also especially on TikTok, where I'm best known as the Book Dragon of the Bookworm Archive. If you like wholesome fantasy and like kind of cozy tavern core content, as well as having really good book recommendations shoved down your throats, I am the gal you go to.
That's that. Thank you very much for that, Khadija. If that's it from all my players and that's it from me, well then that's it from us. Thank you very much for coming to see us today, folks. I've been your DM of Doom, Son of Asgard, or World Tree Quests here on Twitch and YouTube. And with me today we've had Just Harry, we've had Patron of Chaos, and we've had Khadija Al Kubra. From all of us here at World Tree Quest, good night, stay safe. Don't trust tailors. They're taking your blood and using it to cast spells. And also don't
And possibly jewelers.
And do not pull a finny. Good night, folks. Good night.
I am concerned now.